That's gonna be okay.
Because that's not what I hear.
Yeah, okay.
They won't keep that.
That's very true. That's a good one.
So how can
I can go through what we have and we can take that direction or.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
We do not, make sure I'm right, we don't have anything for you. So, but we're gonna get some work done. We're ready to move on some stuff.
Okay,
That's
good.
either proposed or status quo, so.
So the first two I'm going to hand out are the wages articles, and the only change will be formalization of what I told you verbally, and that is the offer that was accepted by Lyuna is formally in here. So
Yeah.
that will be our position on wages at this point. Passing around two piles, one with firefighters captains and the other with district chiefs. And the offer, just to remind everyone, was commencing October 1st of 2021, 2.5%, 2% each year thereafter.
Okay. Have you got anything more formalized of the stuff coming out of DC that the city's gonna give? I mean, I got some numbers, and actually I've gotten rulings out of DC of what you can and can't use for, and a lot of it is some of your issues. So
I hope you're right. No,
Yeah.
what I'm told,
I
and
am.
we just talked to Joey as late as this morning,
yeah,
that by the end of this month, we'll have
Yeah.
details. So
Yeah. y'all need to pick it up because we already got the answers. So
including the property appraisers numbers, which
Yeah.
is important to the city too. So
yeah, right. They're good. We've already spoke to him.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Mark is kind of crazy right now.
Huh? So just what Lona got, that's it. Is this?
Are we short?
What is this? Captain's.
Sorry, yeah. I can give you my note.
Yeah, I can read Robin's too.
There's two more. Good.
Well, you've done a lot of changing here now.
Yeah.
What?
I gave you wages previously.
Stand
though.
by, stand by. You're right. Sorry. There we go. Mixed up the Chiefs and the, we're right here. Okay, it's in there. All right. Okay.
And while we're on that, I will make mention, we did consider the two new incentives you placed in there for the airport and the Marine unit. At this time, we're just not interested in incentivizing something we don't believe has a need right now.
All right, let's caucus. Caucus, a minute.
already called and asked now.
Oh, I can tell. I see it. Todd, they asked that you, the people in there, asked you to speak up just a little bit. Say your mom.
You're masked. He's muffled.
You're
No
muffled.
kidding, no kidding, he's muffled.
I'm just saying what the people in the speaker said.
The people in the speaker.
The people in the speaker.
Ready? Why would that, explain to me why you feel that you don't need to incentivize the proposals that we made as relates to our proposal?
Well, I think you'll see what was done in the additional incentive that the city has proposed. They're in areas that we need depth on the bench, that we don't, they might be less desirable, and I'll let the chief weigh in here, but there are areas that we need additional folks to volunteer for to get those certifications and to want to be part of those teams versus areas that there's already a line waiting out the door because folks want to go there.
There's a line waiting out the door for crash certification.
That are qualified.
That are qualified, not to want to go there, but have the certification.
Crash being the airport.
Right. Crash, meaning we have several stations that are crash stations.
Chief, you want to speak to?
He doesn't have to answer. He doesn't have to answer. It's frustrating to know that I know the answer, and that's what you're saying is not true. It's not true.
So you're saying there's a need in that area?
I'll tell you what, go look at the overtime at the crash stations, just the crash stations. Bring that back next time and tell me that there's a line waiting out the door. All you gotta do.
The list of names that have worked in the last year at that
Yeah.
station that are
Yeah.
certified,
Yeah.
that had to work overtime because there's nobody else there.
Yeah.
Go, y'all research that a little bit and then tell us,
Yeah.
yeah, there's people.
That'd be a good way to figure it out. That way nobody's got to have an answer, right? I'm gonna put anybody in an awkward situation. The facts will show it. So, and the Marine.
Marine's the same way.
Yeah, Marine do the same thing.
Even more so at some point.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, probably right.
I think that I take people off specialty units, off the other units, off the hazmat and the USAR team, are routinely transferred to the Marine unit because there's not enough qualified
So
people.
did you hear that? He's taking people off of what you want to incentivize more, and having to move them because of their certification off the team that you say is what we really need people for, and moving into other specialty places where there is no incentive. Just say it. So removing incentives, and only proposing what everybody else gets. That's,
What do you mean removing incentives?
you've
We've done nothing but-
removed the incentive that you don't want to agree to the incentives that we would
We're
like.
not removing though. We're not removing anything. In fact, we've increased.
Well, you removed them from your, well, okay, you're right. Wrong, bad choice of words. You were not willing to add incentives into your proposal, right? Is that correct? You're not willing to add incentives into some incentives into proposals.
Some.
Yeah, okay.
Some.
And then only whatever Luna got. That's because you keep saying it that way. Whatever Luna got that's where you feel like
Whatever
monetarily.
The civilians are getting.
Yeah.
Which is the same as.
Is there more that have agreed to it?
No, we're very close, but no.
So we don't know that they're getting it then, right? We know Luna is because they agreed to it, but the other ones haven't agreed, so you really couldn't say that that's what they're getting, right?
I know what the city's position is gonna be.
Okay. Okay. Let's start it again. The 12.2. why would you not, 12.2 in your proposals under firefighter to captain? Why wouldn't you make it the same as the 56-hour personnel?
Keith, you want to address that?
You have a lot of folks in fire prevention who are taking off a couple hours at a time, which makes obviously the staffing, tracking of the staffing component difficult.
How is it difficult to track that? How does that make the staffing component difficult?
Just putting the folks, the move of the folks.
Is that done through field staffing?
Sorry.
Is that done through field staffing? It's not done through field staffing. It's not
Just got to be sort of management.
in resource management.
It's done in resource management.
So that's the only reason? Is just because it's difficult that you don't want to do it hour per hour? I mean, because if a captain's off, you know, and some will probably be in, let's just say if a captain's off for 4 hours and an issue pops up where that captain needs to weigh in on something, whatever it might be, sign duties, whatever that the captain's duties are that need to be accomplished. I don't understand why if somebody has to do that, somebody's performing additional duties, they should be compensated for that. We do it in the 56-hour world. I don't know, I just, if somebody explain to me what the difference is other than it's just hard to do. To me, that doesn't make much of an argument, just we don't want to do it this hard.
Do you think it should be hour per hour?
I wouldn't hold hard on hour per hour, but not a full 8-hour day. 4 hours.
People that they can't hear you, you can speak up that.
That would help her too. That's on 12.2. All right, so another critical care paramedic. Can you explain to me, we didn't, well, I don't think we ever really did it. So you're willing to give $110 difference in special operations and hazmat, but it's $200 for the critical care paramedic. Can you explain the difference?
So the critical care paramedic, it's 200 if you're not assigned to one of the units, 400 if you're assigned to the unit. And there's so much additional training that's going to be required to get to this level of critical care paramedic. We decided that was kind of where we wanted to set the incentive level to try to incentivize folks to go get this additional training and be part of this. Because in the end goal is to get all of our rescues level at some point in the future. We're not gonna be able to get there to start with. It'll be a step process to get there, but trying to get the incentive to where people will go do it.
And how do you get it?
We're working through Dr. Elias right now. He's setting up what the program is gonna look like, and then they're gonna go, we have to go to training school or what, wherever the class is, we can help get them. And then as they, they'll move from each one step to step until they finish the program. Then there's a certification test they have to take.
So this program will be determined by Dr. Elias?
The qualifications for the program, in other words, the classes that you need to take are going to be determined by Dr. Elias. Obviously, we work under his license. And
Oh, that's it. Well, there's lots of people out there already have it. So are they going to be allowed that have critical care paramedic? There are people out there that have critical care paramedic certifications.
Outside organization.
Will they be allowed to get the $200?
if they've had the classes that Dr. Elias has laid out for us.
We would never agree to that.
No, because
No way, shape, or form.
understand something. The other incentive.
What, let me stop. Put that in your proposal. We need to see that in a proposal.
Definition.
How many people out there do you believe have an outside firm
Over 10.
certification?
Over 10. Yeah. You talk a lot louder when you speak for the court reporter.
I didn't hear what you said.
Everybody retired from seminary and stuff like that.
Chief, just so I'm clear, you're wanting a list of what the classes should look like.
No, look, no, I think people would have difficulty accepting an article like, or a proposal like that when you don't know what it is. Right? I mean, all the proposals that we have laid out, bang, bang, bang. Company, all of your, if you go through the promotions piece that says you got to have this to be this. Lieutenant, you got to be this. Captain, very well laid out. And for our proposal to just say, well, whatever we decide it is, that's what we want to do. And I don't think that's fair to the members to go, well, it may be unachievable, right? I mean, it's,
So you want a list of the required classes.
right. Well, to be honest, maybe I'll save you some time. Why not just say, if I have a certificate that says I am a critical care paramedic, that suffices. That works.
Because Dr. Elias has to make that decision because we work under his license. And he says this doesn't work, we can't operate.
So do you think we could go to impasse over that? Because a doctor says, no, we can't.
Critical care paramedic.
How do you grieve that? How do you grieve that?
Is there a national criteria certification? I mean, is this something that's national and then you work under Dr. Elias's license?
The certification is a national curriculum, right?
I'm asking. What's my telling?
I'm saying.
Yeah.
The critical care paramedic program is a national certification curriculum, okay? And then in addition to that, as Chief Howard mentioned, we're working under Dr. Elias's license. So he has to set forth parameters that he believes that these individuals meet in order for them to work under his license. Over and above what their normal paramedic duty may be.
Yeah.
And that's what I think Chief
Yeah.
Howard is trying to do.
And talking to Dr. Elias about this, as we started working through this, his concerns are we're dealing with some pretty powerful medications and some other things that can, if used wrong, can harm someone.
Yeah.
And he has some real concern about making sure that our level is here before he'll sign off that they can.
Can Dr. Elias change the certification of paramedic to make it allowable for him to work under his license?
He cannot sign off, and it happens in.
So what you're saying, if he all of a sudden created, you're a paramedic, but you got to have these 3 more classes. If you don't pass them, you're not working underneath me. Y'all think he can do that?
Actually, I know he can do it. He holds our license.
No.
Function as a-
You think he can change the certification
I think
of
he-
working under his
I think
license?
He can add to the minimum. He can add to the minimum. So when you, in Clay County, for example, you can't operate as a paramedic under their medical director's license until you sit in front of him and he signs off on you.
Okay,
Now, they're a state certified paramedic, right? But they can't operate in Clay County as a paramedic until he signs off. Because he is responsible for that person because his license.
you said in Clay County, we do that here?
We do that here for people that ride in charge in rescue. They have to sit in front of him before they're signed off to ride in charge.
So everybody riding in charge has been signed off by him.
Yes, yeah, so new engineers, paramedic engineers, as they go through their task booklet, part of the actually the core function of that task booklet is when they're reached the point where their officer and their chief feels like they have completed that process, they go sit before Dr. Elias, and he literally basically gives them an oral review of all their skills, and he feels they're ready. He sends an email, so it's all documented in writing to their chief, and copies the division of perfect division chief. And then if he doesn't feel they're ready, like I just got an email from him yesterday, this individual is strong working knowledge of the SOG, just needs some more, 2 more weeks of additional SOG training, for example. And then they'll be ready to ride in charge. But it protects, the part, I don't ever want to have a situation where we take a new paramedic engineer just because the state says they're certified as a paramedic, and they're promoted engineer, and now they're rescuing, we just throw them in the wolves. And I don't want anybody to be in that situation, so Dr. Elias is that.
Well, you're kind of getting away from my point.
Can we take a conference?
Yeah, sure. Y'all, you're more than welcome to go right in here. Y'all, there's a conference room right in there. Or you can go to the office too. I don't, or upstairs. Push this. He's old. Seen that?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't be your parents.
Yeah, don't be your parents. I do that every time too.
Did that the other day, and I was
We were
like,
talking
did you
about
just
that
hear
yesterday.
yourself?
I do it. Now that I've seen a commercial, I do it I've been intentionally trying not to do it, you know.
It's good to
But
have,
my knees hurt.
it's good to have a significant other who says, don't do that. It's gonna get my age, don't do that.
And next, we're gonna open a PDF.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, what we'd like to do, so we had, I think, some strong engaged discussion about this new incentive. Next session, we commit to you to have the roadmap as we see it to get this certification and to have the medical director sign off so that we're speaking to something that we're being transparent about.
Right. Question two, well, several. One, would the people that get, if it goes as is, or let's say the roadmap's there, okay? Do the people that get the $200 incentive also have to sit down in front of Elias? And if you don't have the answer, maybe next time you'll have it. Would they have to sit down in front of Elias to get the 200? Okay, so people that ride in charge and rescue have to sit down in front of Elias, the people in charge of an ALS unit, right?
The engineers, not officers.
Not officers,
Engineers.
engineers, okay.
Or they ride in charge as
Yeah.
far as their.
Right.
Project.
Okay,
They come and sit.
so kind of that was a grandfather clause, you know, a grandfather point where you just say, okay, they're good, okay. Does that happen in the suppression?
To my knowledge, it's suppression engineer.
So an engineer that rides up on an ALS unit doesn't have to sit in front of a light. Okay, is that fair?
I would argue that riding in charge of a rescue unit is a lot different than riding in charge of an ALS engine.
I would also argue that that paramedic is working under Dr. Elias's license. Okay.
I might.
Yeah.
I would urge, when you're revamping this, to consider our specific language, how you define these incentives. Your language is a little bit ambiguous. I'd be hesitant. I would urge you to consider our language for the definition of who gets the $50 incentive.
I think ours were adjusted from our first proposal.
Well, there are adjustments, but still, I would urge you to look at your language.
This isn't what we talk about. We talk about your language.
Right. Yeah, later out.
I'm just looking at that one and
Okay.
both their language.
And I would ask, is there already is there a short list? Hold
Oh,
on.
I see with the parentheses, what's in parentheses.
I mean, it's, your
Yeah.
language is less specific, is the best term I can use. It's less specific, I think, not as specific as you would like to be.
Is there already a short list for the critical care paramedic team? Is there a short list for the critical care paramedic team today? Yeah, names. Okay. Hold on, let's, Sure.
So you asked about the $200 folks. And the reason they would have to, because the whole reason we're trying to get that group behind them is if we have somebody off that's assigned to one of those permanently, they're gonna move, we'll need to move them over to help with staffing on that unit for the day.
Yeah.
They need to be at that same level.
what is the, early stages of what it would be? Can you give us a rundown of kind of what, on a day-to-day basis, what would that unit be doing? Or what is it, right? I mean, just how's it staffed, that kind of thing.
So it obviously would be staffed with the critical care paramedics.
Let me be clear, holding you to nothing that you say today, right? I mean, I know it's evolving, so I don't want you to.
The intent is the first year is to get one unit on each side of the river. that will be designated as the critical care paramedic unit. And then there's gonna be some criteria that Doc is gonna work on what they would be dispatched to. Maybe, and I'll take for instance, a guy that got his legs cut off by the train the other day.
Yeah.
That would be something because they're carrying blood products, so they can get on scene and administer those, administer that care. But there's gonna be, we talked about, there's gonna be a list of these type runs. We're probably gonna dispatch them in addition to the units, the closest units that are already responding.
Well, I mean, to help educate what, then again, of what it's gonna, because there are people going, "Oh, what is it?" I mean, I've had 100 people ask me, what is that? I don't know. Is it would it be any different than the units that rescue units that we have today? If you looked at it, other than maybe it says critical care in the back of it, right? And it has the additional stuff, right? Okay. Captain, lieutenants, engineers, blah, blah, okay, same. And it would be a transport unit that would transport some of these people to wherever. Okay, good. All right, that helps. I mean, I think just to get that out there to help people understand what actually it is. So.
Would they run their normal workload as well?
Yes, they will. With the intent of expanding this to every rescue in the city at some point, as we can build the team, give people the training we need to get them, build it to every rescue, so then we don't have to specially dispatch anymore.
And back to the point, it looked like from your comments that y'all were interested in incentivizing stuff that we need people, right? You don't think we need it in the crash or the boat, but you're incentivizing something we don't even have yet. Again, that doesn't seem to follow a consistent mindset, right? That it would do that.
So Chief, the reason we're adding this now, the intent is, after we talk to the administration, the intent is to get this in the contract, because we're in contract negotiations now with us asking for in budget the equipment and the training dollars we need to get the first group of people ready for this. We're in implementation of October 1st of 22, but we need to get this in the contract while we're in negotiations.
Sure.
That's why it's being put in, or requested.
Gotcha. But that's not really my point. My point is, if we want to incentivize things that we need, right? I mean, I just find it comical that we have needs elsewhere, but you've made a statement, no, this is really where we need them. So again, that's a matter of labor management, I guess, how you see that.
I know that I felt tremendous passion from the chief that this particular certification would take JFRD to the next level.
Say that again, sir.
Loud.
Inter-facility transport as well?
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. This is only gonna be 911 based calls and dispatch, just like they're being done now.
Could you do that in the future? You could do inter-facility transports with these units, correct? You could. I mean,
Legally.
okay. I wouldn't slam the door on that if you're talking about revenue, right?
Yeah, but it's also a market for the private vendors that manage that piece. We want to be respectful of what their market is.
No, we don't. No, we don't. It's more, we're negotiating wages, right? For firefighters.
Chief, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
And obviously you don't ever shut a door, but the intent right now is to focus.
Sure,
on
I get it.
911.
And I didn't mean that to be, but there are other departments that do that, right? And it seems to be a pretty good revenue source for somebody. It is in a different locale, right? I get that, so.
There are times where the ERs will call us with a critical patient to transfer a patient with a critical disease from one facility to another.
Oh, that does happen?
Yeah, it does happen.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
We've been down there for years.
That would help with that then, no doubt. Right, I'm assuming those, yeah, I mean, and again, not germane to the point, but for something critical, right? I mean, that would need a critical care unit. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so you're gonna alter your proposal, you're gonna alter your proposal on Article 12 on wages, right? You're gonna have
To Robin's point, yes,
Yeah,
we're gonna add
okay.
some of that language. We're We don't plan on altering the critical care paramedic
Yeah.
insertion, but we do want to share what we see as the roadmap to getting that
Would
money.
you also look at 12.1D when you're starting to make those decisions?
Oh, yeah.
Don't be so flippant about it, Mike. Come on, don't be so flippant about it.
You got me.
I was hoping you were gonna dig for it. I just got some people, our old people down there too, so it's okay. Well, again, for the record, I disagree with what y'all feel as if is a need for the department. And I would hope you would look at some of that data and alter that, so. All right, we'll move on to, damn, where were we at?
We've
12?
got a new one for you for promotion.
Okay.
Article 13. All right. There's 2 piles coming around.
We're getting on track.
Why did we, go with chapters?
Can we, go ahead, I'll make a note.
All right, so when we look at promotions, you proposed some significant changes last time, of which we've fully adopted 2 of them. So I think it's quite a bit of movement on our part. 13.1, we are not adding the new language that you proposed. Honestly, right now, we believe it to be not reasonably possible that that we could administer a completely new exam. And also that the format of the new exam, there's just a lot of unknowns right now. So that we have not incorporated. We also have not incorporated changes in 13.3, this the additional seniority points. A couple things wrong with that. I think we've had the discussion before about how that dilutes veterans' preference. It's also, this was one of the variables that was known as the new testing format was negotiated and the consent decree was issued. So there's, again, this is just one of those things that we believe will exacerbate, several issues. And we understand, the desire of IAFF to reward and recognize experience because that is so important, but it's just something we can't do for those reasons.
You think that violates the settlement agreement between the DOJ, the city, and IFF? Is that what you think, that changing that would violate that agreement?
Potentially, because that's one of the variables that was known, what was the maximum seniority points going into it.
Yeah. Go ahead. What about 13.7?
13.7, we've fully incorporated your language. We just added a caveat, which we believe was useful to have, kind of a relief valve if we needed it. That is that the 30-day requirement can be waived by mutual agreement. say a natural disaster occurred in the middle of the period and something, something occurred that we needed to go beyond 30 days.
Would that require an MOU?
I don't necessarily think that it needs to be an MOU since we have this enabling language in there. We're not changing the agreement language at that point.
Okay. Was the 60-day study period known during the DOJ settlement?
Yes.
That you're willing to change this one and not the other one?
It doesn't affect the scheduling or the development of exams. It does not affect the schedule for developing new exams.
But it's a change.
Yes, it's
Okay.
not a significant change for developing the exams.
So it also wouldn't change the scores, where if we changed the seniority points, that could change the scores.
13.9, we've also fully incorporated your language, should be without change. If you notice one, it's unintentional. Everything, there's no
Is that
other
it?
changes. That's it.
And I'm assuming it's same for chiefs,
Yes,
same change.
yes.
Under 13.9, we have a problem with the appropriate division chief being included on that committee. The testing committee, or readiness committee.
Well, the chief can point whoever he wants.
Right.
But no, sir, I don't. I have no problem adding that if you want to add that. Yeah, no, not at all. I would think that would, well, it's appropriate, chief, very appropriate, I believe. You can solve it by the chief. I mean, I would hope the chief would go, that's probably the most appropriate person to be on there. I mean, is that, 1, 2,
3 currently, yeah, 1 more.
yeah. Oh, I don't know if I even want to go there. Well, we'll talk some a little bit. We'll go over some of that.
That's all we had new for you today.
Okay. So let's go back to 11. Forgot something. A little discussion about. What did we debate? Stand by. We never got to 11, did we?
No.
Yeah, sorry. Let's skip over that one. Let's jump back to 11. So y'all had any, so
I think we had discussion last time, just that we're
we probably owe you,
on the Kelly Day.
yeah, but we probably owe you another proposal, because y'all gave us one on 415 and ours was 3.4.
Right.
So, okay, my apologies on that. I didn't, any desire, again, I probably shouldn't say every, a lot, I'll categorize it as a lot of Fridays and Thursdays, I don't know, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. Emails are going out every day from district and battalion chiefs saying, we ain't got enough people signed up for overtime. And y'all made a proposal of just getting rid of D&E, which is a weekend shift. We would like to propose, and I'll say it verbally, and depending on your response, whether or not we'll add it to the proposal, about keeping keeping D&E shift, but staffing it in all ranks, where it would have an impact to the overtime issue that it seems like we are having on a regular basis. I know there was some conversations about incentivizing weekend early. I think this is another way to do it.
Well, we are agreeable to keeping that in the contract.
Okay.
So
Are you agreeable to staffing it with anything, with all ranks?
That's something we'd have to discuss.
Yeah. Okay. This is the carpet comes. Yeah.
That right there.
We owe them a proposal.
So,
Yeah, we owe them one.
Chief-wise,
Yes, sir.
so I don't think, I'm reading it real quick, but I don't think there's any language that doesn't allow what you're asking to happen already.
We would request that it be added to the contract, because right now you have language that says, and maybe an SOP or something like that, it's firefighters only. Yeah. It does in there?
3C.
Oh, it does.
3C, second sentence.
No, it says, it just talks about employees in the rank of firefighter. It doesn't say it's exclusive to the rank of firefighter, exclusive to that rank.
It's been interpreted that way.
It just says that they have to have, that firefighters have to have 12 months.
I understand.
Okay. All right, so what that does, due to this debate, is that it's clearly laid out in the contract. There's never any question of what it should or shouldn't be. So that's why we'd like to add it in there. Again, you don't surrender your rights to transfers. When there's assignments, yes, when you're going to put people in there, there's a way to do the assignments. But you know, we wouldn't say it's got to have this number, things like that. You'll run the fire department, right? You do it. But if you're going to utilize that, which is obviously a problem, that it be spread amongst the ranks. So, because when you hire you can hire a lot of firefighters over time at the rate that you pay a chief overtime. So if a chief's in there, or a captain, it obviously commits it all the way down, saves you that much larger overtime piece. And I would like to talk about, let's, in your proposal 11.8, because you moved, it's 11.9 in the original contract, but you moved it because 11.8. Late relief. Seems to be an issue, has been for many years, probably worse in the past and here recently, but still, there's an interpretation of, so late relief, we have firefighters, all ranks can't get relieved. And it is done, there are certain opinions out there that the writing chiefs that there are differences of opinions of how that's supposed to work. I know there's an overwhelming number in the rescue division that has been interpreted to say you can force mandatory overtime due to labor leave. Chief's telling the rank and file, you cannot leave because you're not relieved. You cannot leave because you're not relieved. And again, I think it's getting worse and worse. And either because I will tell you in the rescue, it's because there are certain chiefs believes cannot take a unit out of service due to for any reason. Well, the reason that just because you don't have relief doesn't mean we can put a unit out of service. So I don't know if we incentivize that, if we add language in there that says you can put it out of service due to staffing. It is done differently all over, in almost every fire station or all districts across the city. It's done differently. People will stay in work. There are instances where it's a trap that the engineer is not a paramedic and can't ride up, or Dr. Elias hadn't said he can ride up. And the person's in a trap. Sometimes it's 9:30, 10 o'clock before somebody ever gets there. And our members that they want to work 24 hours. They want to work 56 hours a week and not an hour more. And that's okay because they schedule stuff. And we've actually nothing in the recent, recently, but in the past, and they were advising the members, hey man, I just wouldn't schedule anything before noon on your day off because you're not going to be able to probably not going to be able to make it. And that's not fair to the members. So I don't know I would ask y'all to help. How do we relieve some of that situation? Now, I understand if you got one unit, and a lot of this was based on before these extra units were put in service. We had a limited number of rescue units, and it's grown in the last several years, thanks to the Mayor's Office Fire Administration, done a great job with that. But some of that is still held over to where you take a unit out and creates a hole, right? I will say, I give you instances every day of units being out of service to go stand out there at FSCJ North Campus for the cops, right? But a member has a doctor's appointment with his kid at 9:30 on the day that he's getting off, and he's not going to make it because we can't put a unit out of service. So, and I don't blame anybody from that. I will tell you that's a holdover from a prior administration that has continued to have some buy-in. Buy-in is a strong word. They're still kind of going on that philosophy. Now, I ain't putting nothing out of service due to the liability. The department takes a lot of liability for the stuff that we do put units out of service. If you utilize that mentality, you lose every day. So again, I don't know how to fix it, or just to tell them, hey, we can put units out of service. And I'm not saying every time, right? I'd give that to the discretion of the chief that day to say, no, we got 8 units out of service on the west side, right? We got to keep one in service. So a lot of times it's just a mentality of being, of how hard they're willing to work to be able to get that done. And it's a true chess game in the morning, and it's not easy. But when those difficult times do show up, where it's tough just getting people to the units, right? And, overtime, transfer, whatever it might be. Where you go the easy fallback is not just can't leave. Because that is easier for a chief just to say, man, you just can't leave. It gives me time to figure it out. So again, I just think it's a undue burden on our members to be, and not all of them. It's not something that is happens on a regular basis, but it does happen often. And how we fix that. I don't know if you incentivize it more. Weight relief is 1 hour. I think I made a proposal last time to make it 3 or 4. Right? That makes it worth it. Maybe makes it worth their while to stay. I guess ask Chief Castleman, can you put a unit out of service due to staffing in the morning? Can you put a rescue unit out of service at 8 o'clock due to the fact that the persons on the shift before don't have relief? staffing. But do we put units out of service for other reasons during the day? Yeah, okay. What determines why would one go out of service? Why would you put one unit out of service? Other than the obvious, it's, broke down, whatever it might be.
Well, a lot of times units are put second down, they're not out of service,
Yeah.
they're just second down.
Mhm.
They're not out of their territory. But they might have special detail, and it can be a graduation ceremony for that matter.
Yeah.
That's an example.
Okay. But not go out of service due to can't get relief there. Okay. So let me ask this. If chief tells a lieutenant cannot leave, and then at 7:50, all right? Just for the record, everybody, 8 o'clock is shift change. And at 8:01, there's still no relief there. Can that member knock off sick? Let me ask it another way. If somebody in the middle of the day knocks off sick and has to leave immediately, is that unit put out of service?
Yes, it'd be based on the circumstances, but I'm sure of that.
Okay. So I ask the question, at 8:01, can they knock off sick?
On a 26?
Yes.
Your question really is, can we put a unit out of service? It all circles back to the same question.
No. Yes, that's the ultimate goal, but that's a question I like to ask. Can a person knock off sick at 8:01?
I would think the answer to that question is no matter when
Yeah.
they knock off, if they're sick, they can't.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're really sick.
Okay.
You want to add anything to that?
So when you talk about incentivizing the ability to have somebody staff,
Yeah.
have you got some suggestions on?
We proposed 3 hours last time. Now, again, I don't know if that's going to fix it. Look, a person's going to want to go to the doctor, right? Their kid's doctor's, no matter if you're paying 20 hours overtime, right? I mean, but for somebody that just goes, God almighty, I've been getting my head kicked in for the last 24 hours, am I going to spend 3 more? Does that help? I don't know. I don't really know if it does or it doesn't. It would in some instances. I don't know if it really is. And again, I don't want to portray this that there is a rampant problem across the whole department, but it does again. Y'all know it occurs. I mean, it absolutely occurs. So, but lots of people take it too. I mean, people got no problem with the incentive there now. But there are instances where there's pressures applied to those members that we'll write you up if you leave, that kind of thing. So I just don't think it's fair. When you look at what we do on a day-to-day basis. And Chief, you said, you caveated it with, well, they're second out. Well, if the unit's out of service, aren't they, is there another unit close by? Right. It's really kind of the same thing, right? I mean, and there's another one, and there's another one.
There's a difference between responding second due and not being able to respond. Because you don't have that.
Right, but under the auspices of, we won't put one out of service due to staffing. There's still another one that's second due, right? I mean, and eventually somebody will get there and it'll come. So yeah, I agree with you. I mean, there is a difference in that aspect of it.
What if we did something, and I'm just talking right now, but we did something along the lines that maybe said, gave a specific number of units. So if we have 4 units that are lacking staffing, then we have, we got to we can't put any more than 4 out.
Well, I will tell you, they may quarter and drag me here. I don't think y'all put a number to it. Give the chief, really just send a signal to say, you can put a unit out of service due to that.
Reasonable.
Yeah,
For the
so
circumstances.
that chief goes, looks at the units around, right, and goes, man, everybody's in service, right? Everybody's still there. This one guy got to go. And again, to my point, you know what I was doing. If you can knock off in the middle of the day and the unit go out of service, why can't you do it in the morning?
I will tell you from our side of the house, we don't, obviously, we take every unit seriously, as does everyone else. But there have been occasions lately when there have been staffing issues that are relatively temporary. But we have put units out of service due to staffing and suppression. We have done that, and I take that as seriously as anybody else. Make no mistake, it is a super serious, we're not saying it's not, but we think that reasonable chiefs in the field can make these decisions and should not be pressured to not make that decision based on their intellect and experience. That's what we're trying to say from our side of the house. We should not discourage them to do what I believe is their primary job, which is maintain staffing on units, maintain units in service.
And a lot of that, for those that don't know, most in the uniforms too, that occurs and people don't even know, the chiefs don't even know it. Hey, I gotta go, you got it, yeah, right, in-house, they do some swapping around, but there are situations where it can't happen, due to paramedic right in charge, those kind of things. So, there's lots of work that's done on a daily basis, trying to, making sure that all occurs and happens. We'll ride, so again, it's just, yeah.
Again,
Look,
the chiefs in the field do a good job of doing everything they can. They should be allowed the latitude of making the right decision based on the circumstance they're looking at right that minute, which is, you can't go, everybody's out, you can't go. I got that, and nobody disputes that. Nobody will, even the individual that needs to go. We got that.
right, yeah.
But it's the regular case where individuals don't feel they have that latitude now that we would like to. And this is not a contract, this is in my opinion, this is not, you can't write this.
And to be honest, I enjoy on the conversation that, that could be fixed without that. So maybe we brought it that attention. So.
Where I'm at is not a contract.
All right, let me make sure that was all on 11. But we do owe you an 11. We'll have you one next time. And we'll we'll put some language in there that addresses some of that.
We can respond to it.
Yeah. Okay. Where are we? Last was 13, right? Yeah. So 14. You had mentioned something last time about cashing out emergency comp leave. What did you mean by that?
I was just gauging your interest that if something, whether it be ARP or something else, gave us some funds and latitude to take care of, any liabilities that were accrued during the emergency.
Yeah.
Would that be an incentive to your membership to have something paid out? And I know your response to me was, if it was a choice, it probably would be an incentive.
Mr. President. 14, your proposal 319, 14, the new 0.5. The bottom line that was added says comp leave not included in the above. I'm assuming that's what this means. Means if you die, your comp leave stays. Dying's not good enough to get the comp leave paid, well, everything else is. Is that what I'm interpreting correctly?
Well, no, this is the comp leave for training.
I recognize that they've earned it at some point by going on.
Yeah,
extra
but that was
hours.
part of the agreement last time, was that this leave was a use it or lose it.
I got that.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't get a chance to do either one, but they died.
Yeah.
In this provision, you're saying death is not a good enough reason to pay out comp leave. Am I incorrectly interpreting that?
What we agreed was that comp leave wasn't paid out under any circumstances. It was
Unless
use it or
you
lose
use
it.
it. I'm okay with that, unless you're dead.
Would you be willing to agree to, if they die, you would get it?
We're here negotiating.
Okay. We'll add it.
I mean, I understand your point.
Well, I understand the point of, cop leave earned in training has to be used. You're not gonna get paid for it when you leave. I got that. I got that. But if you're dead, you didn't get a chance to use it yet because you were saving it for the vacation next month. and you got
What
killed.
made, we're good. We'll make the proposal.
Yeah. Anyway.
I think that was the only, so we'll get you a proposal on that too, on 14. All right, 15. We got our work cut out for us next time.
I think 15, we both had agreed to remove 4 and 5, but it was tied to the
To
other
12,
incentives.
yeah, to 12. So yeah, we'll get there. I mean, I think we're in agreement in 15, but we'll just wait till 12 gets done. Hey, for my ease, would, think about that. Would you be willing to agree to the increased EMT and paramedic incentive, that one specific piece of that article, and TA off on 15? Or is this easier for you to, I mean, right, you understand that, right? I mean, that's what it's connected to.
Yeah, I think we're
Is-
on the record as agreeing that
Okay.
those two are connected with those specific
Okay.
incentives you guys have increased.
Y'all okay
And
with
we're in
TA off on
agreement.
15 then? I mean, I'll just get another one out of the way. I don't- Yeah, everybody? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll TA off on 15.
Okay.
On, hold on a minute. You had some other stuff. Hold on.
I don't think so.
It prorated, just a prorated piece
Oh,
that we didn't have in ours. I mean, it was the same, other than the prorated piece. Yeah. So we'll sign off on yours. Right, I'm assuming you want that in there, right? The proration. Sure, that was a council auditor issue.
well,
Yeah.
it's not really important any longer, right? Because it's coming out.
Correct.
Oh, right, yeah, that is the, you're right. No, we need to do ours. We need to do ours. You're
Ours,
right.
the 319
Yeah.
would be the language that
Yeah.
we're proposing that does meet the criteria that we're all agreeing on.
Yeah, no, I've got, our last one is the correct one, or yours, either way.
Yeah. Yeah, so that one.
The reason was because you had.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You want to make a copy of that? Or do you want to?
Yeah, I
It's still okay with that? I don't like that, but that's, you okay? Okay. Okay. I need some of
Can you copy?
Why do you want to push off your man? Put it on him.
I'm just talking, I got this worked out.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, 16, I think we're good. We T8 off on that. 17. Y'all want to, yeah, you want to get into that one or you want to wait? Will you put non-OJI limited duty policy in the contract?
Not our intent, no.
18. So 18.6. Me and April have had many conversations about this. Is the language, oh, sorry, hold on a minute. We'll get to your proposal. Is that language y'all propose what? Want to wait? There you go. I'll let you give you time to read it. Is that what is occurring now? And what, and can you run that through? I'm honestly, this is not a trick. what is it? What are we doing if a prevention person works on a holiday?
Paid time and a half for all hours worked,
Yeah,
plus 8 hours for the holiday, straight. 8 hours are included in their regular.
right. Well, that's not really, so that's if they didn't work overtime, they're getting 8 hours of the pay.
2.5 times for working the holiday versus straight time.
So it's, right, so it's just overtime. They're just getting paid.
Plus the holiday.
They're getting that anyway. They're getting the holiday anyway,
Right.
right?
It's the equivalent of 2.5.
Yeah.
2.5 times for 8 hours.
And then, I promise you, I had the biggest struggle with this. What would that doesn't work.
So if you have your regular 8 hour pay, then you're gonna get 8 hours for the holiday on top of that, plus the time and a half?
That's not what, it's just the straight.
8 hours for holiday.
Yeah.
And time and a half for all hours worked. 2.5 times for the first, not first 8 hours.
We do struggle with that.
There's another 40-hour employees that get it, would be like special events.
Kelly Dobson. Yeah, I thought it said, yeah. But on a holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what it is? They get that too, right? There's no difference, yeah. Maybe nobody here knows. Maybe you do, Chief Powers. Are they having a problem getting people to work on those holidays?
I'm not aware of any, I'm not saying,
Yeah,
I'm not aware.
I can't remember. I think they are. I wouldn't swear to it.
In fire prevention or
Yeah,
on
yeah.
special events?
Prevention, fire prevention.
And I think the argument was, well, I'm already getting the holiday pay.
Yeah, we were hearing that it wasn't, it's not enough. I'm on July 4th, right? And that's always seems to be the fireworks, right? Fireworks. That's, I'm not
I
gonna
tell you,
work on.
that's the way 40-hour employees are handled at the rest of the city, is the
Really?
2.5 times for the 8
So
hours.
it always come out at
Yeah.
double time and a half, right?
But it's
So we
not, I mean,
respect-
you keep saying that, but it's not, because you're getting it straight whether you work or not,
Right.
you
I
know?
mean, if you look at a specific hour, you're getting an hour of holiday pay plus time and a half. So you're getting
That's
2.5
what I'm
hours.
struggling with. I'm trying to figure out a way I get it, because in reality, you're working, you're assuming you're working 40 on right? If a holiday falls within a week, you assume to work 40 hours. And then anything over that, it's time and a half, which is the norm for everywhere, right? I mean, I'm struggling with trying to figure out
It's that
how to
holiday
get
pay.
it that
It's
way.
that holiday pay.
What is holiday pay? That 8 hours, is it just straight time? Just straight time, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Versus 56 holiday.
Well, that's, I did. What is it? Okay, you went there, because I wasn't gonna go this, but you said it. What would a 56-hour employee get for working a holiday total? I don't know what it says and what happens is, that's different. Or an interpretation of it.
They get the holiday premium rate for each hour that he or she works during the 12-hour period, from 8 till 10. No, from 8 till 8.
Eight
Sorry,
days.
8 to 8.
Is it equitable? April, I'm asking, is that, you think that's equitable? We got any 40s in here, so we may get, I'll get the 56 argument from my side.
Oh, I can't figure it out.
Oh, never mind, I'm not
I
on
just
40
come to
anymore.
work.
I'm not-
I just come to work.
I'm not on 40 anymore, I forgot.
Okay, so they're getting half time for the first 12 hours in the field. Plus they're working, they're getting their regular pay. And eventually they get paid their holiday as well.
Right, on that, yeah.
That's correct.
So-
But on an overtime day, right? No,
Oh, on an overtime.
right, on an overtime day, right? I get the half pay straight time, right, on your regular, then you get the,
And you're getting time and a half plus the half rate for the first 12 hours.
That's the way-
they're getting double time. Yeah. Only you would know that. Chip. Only you would know that. I want you to know that.
And yeah, that's the, just all of a sudden comes up with it.
Wait,
Yeah.
I can't do that.
but again, this, the language you proposed in 18.6 is what is happening, right? I mean, that's what we're paying.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. That is what's happening.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Still proposed. So we would agree to your language if you agree to our language in holidays.
With the additional holiday,
Yes.
we're not in agreement with an additional holiday.
Well, then I'm not in agreement with your language.
Well, there we are.
So what are you gonna do? You gonna change the way you pay them?
Not in agreement with the Patriots there,
No, sir.
the police department, do they have police Memorial Day in addition to their 11 holidays, their 12 holidays?
They do have,
Michael Jordan.
they don't get a personal holiday.
Sid George.
Edwards.
Michael George. Yeah, you wouldn't want to make us, even up to the FOP?
So you give up your personal holiday?
They have one extra than we do, right?
I have to go count their holidays. I know they don't get a personal day.
Let's caucus on that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
I know you would have a problem. with
We
that.
will
You
fix
were-
that.
you were over there all the time.
Who is they?
I mean,
Well, who's they? Who's got it? Oh, well, they will get it fixed.
That one over there, I'm not convinced it isn't the thermostat, because it's always been a little bit of a problem. If you go up there and you
Not
adjust.
87.
Oh, no.
Yeah, not at 87 degrees.
No, it's not doing
It's the
anything.
ghost. It likes it warm.
Yeah.
Put that on my bar. Push it down. Heat out of there, see.
It's Mother's Day.
I just text you a copy of the police holidays.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, we looked at it too. Same. So you willing to swap personal holiday for, Patriots Day?
So you want
We
to
accept your language?
not have a personal holiday and you'd rather have Patriots Day.
Correct. He's looking at you.
Is there a staffing issue with that? It's not spreading it out?
Is there a designated date?
September 11th.
Can you give us 2 minutes?
Yeah, sure. Y'all go.
It's cooler in here. Makes us go out in the yard.
It's full of what?
Yeah,
Pellets.
exactly.
That's a shock. Dry wood pellets burning using one line, that's a shock.
Big bonfire, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a.
Accumulated biomass. Should be burning.
About it this morning.
One thing that'd been better was a moss factory. Oh, they got a moss. That never would happen. We could never have a big pile of moss catch on fire and burn a city halfway to the ground. Most of it, that could never happen.
We don't have a definitive answer for you on Patriots Day. We are taking it into consideration. There's a lot of factors to consider, one of them being the 40-hour versus 56-hour, and how it impacts costs and the operations, because they're not given the holidays ahead of time and, pay those out at the end of the year. So we're going to take a hard look at it and, we understand your proposal.
Okay. 19, 20. I guess this will be the last,
I think.
hold on. When does, Daryl and Clayton leave after you? 1 year?
Clayton leaves 3 months after I do, and then that'd be it.
That's the last one. And you got over a year left, right? Yeah. What is, you want to go into, 19.7A? What do you mean by that? Well, let me, so we don't go further. 1910, so you just get that. I do not have an answer back yet on 1910 as it relates to the letter you sent me, so I'll, next time we'll file that field.
Yeah, so ultimately the goal in 19.7 is to give a little more teeth to the language and make it clear that, somebody who is an abuser can eventually enter progressive discipline.
What's an abuser?
When a pattern develops, you have that language in your contract.
Haley's Commons is pattern. It's only
No. So why don't we use the language in our contract?
Because it doesn't mention, entering progressive discipline. It's just.
So it's counseling. Have we been counseling people that are with a pattern? Trying to pay you the big bucks. What is, if so, language has been what it is, and never been a request to change that, okay? From us or the city. Now you're asking for the change. And I just ask, what drives the change?
Just the desire to have more of a deterrent in there
More of a deterrent to what?
for abuse.
Again, what, if we're gonna agree to it, I gotta know what abuse is. So you say 1 day, I knock off sick 1 day, that's abuse, right?
I would say that's not a pattern.
I think there's some language in there that already says what a pattern clearly develops.
Yeah. So you're saying when that pattern, if we go on past practice of what that is, you would be willing to accept that language, but then they go into progressive, into entering progressive discipline.
Right.
You would be okay with that?
Yes. That change should be in both. I've got an extra word in the one version, I just noticed. the discipline should be underlined in 19.7A in the E.
Where did you say, Todd? I'm sorry. Where did you say you called
Just 19.7A, I missed the word, should be underlined. The word discipline should be underlined. New language.
No, I guess I got, this is still.
So if you want to go to discipline, progressive discipline, we would have to agree to what a pattern is.
We have an example in Plan P, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why that example was never put in
Yeah.
E, but
So would that be the only example? That would be it? That is what would cause discipline?
I don't think we could agree that that would be the only thing.
Okay, that's what I thought. So what is it?
If you want us to come back with more examples, we can.
Okay, that'll work. 2022. I don't think we got a proposal from y'all, do we? Nope.
No, I think we
Yeah.
just spoke
Yeah,
to,
status quo.
status quo. We raised it quite a bit last time.
What's quite a bit?
10%, right?
So you agreeable to our proposal?
No, we're agreeable to status quo.
Okay. I think that is it. Get to 25. I mean, that one's left open. Whoa, yep, 25, sorry. No. Yeah, find it. Yeah, find it. All right, let's skip 25. You gave us a proposal on 26.
It was status quo.
Yeah. I mean, again, it was different than that, and we're good with
You want to go ahead and sign off on that?
Well, no, not yet. Hold on a minute. Let me look. Yes, we'll agree to 26. All right. This status quo. Yeah. That was it. So we're ready to go. Good.
So I owe you copies of 15 and 26.
And more. Get ready. Leave some room.
Okay.
Let's go back to 1. We're ready to TA off on that one. Then we can actually. You looked it up, I think. Yeah, you looked it up. Well, let me see what you said. Make sure it's the same one. Yeah, that's what you said. All right, we're good. TA off on.
You have a copy, Chuck? I actually don't have a copy of one in my book. Article 1.
That's status quo. For some reason I have a TA on 116 of 20, but I don't have it. Just my notes. I don't know.
It's kind of a messed up copy. It's got preamble. You want it? Let me go print one out.
We can do this. I can do this one. Oh, no. You know what? I got it. I need a couple of these. Oh, you're kidding me. Yeah, you go ahead. Do you have a 2? Oh, we can get it. We can get it if because we're ready to move on 1, 2, and 8.
I do have 2. There must be a difference.
You got some on the back there too. That's fine.
Staffing,
Yeah.
y'all have highlighted something you said y'all were internally speaking of. You never heard of it.
Yeah, we got a proposal on 1116 of y'all's that just has highlights in it. And I think you said something that was internal, and we can do that. Or
Yeah, I'm just saying the two contracts are
different.
different. Yeah, so we'll have to sign 2 copies.
oh, you're talking about between the chiefs and
Yeah.
Damn chiefs. Get rid of them. Is it?
It's the first or second paragraph.
No, I'm saying why is it different, right? Because it's
because it speaks to different ranks.
Because it were.
It speaks to different ranks.
Oh, I see. Yeah, but why would it? Added one line, huh? Okay. I know. That's a thing, we love that.
Well, here's a copy. Just-
We went ahead and did 8, but they're different. Each one's different. Chiefs and rank and file. We had to do 2 separate ones. They're not combined. They're slightly different.
So 1 would be different too, right? Because we have the different ranks listed.
Yes, yeah, sure would be. Can we make another trip? Really?
No.
Just kidding. You're going around him. You need that one? We do the whole thing? Okay.
Yeah, just.
Hold it over, don't tear it. Just take it, hold it over.
Anybody need anything else?
Oh, whoa. Oh, he's going,
That's rank and file.
okay, yes, go ahead, sorry. You want to grab one out of the contract you got there?
I've got a clean one.
Oh, you got a clean one?
That shouldn't have the legislative copy though.
There you go. Only, you're gonna have to do like 2. Okay, well, it's good, it doesn't matter, good. Did you do 8? Did we get 8?
Yes,
We got 8, okay.
26, 15, 2, and 1.
Sorry, so we got some more, let's do a 25 also. Let's caucus. Maybe we can catch one more. Not the best way, but there you go.
Is that the other, that's the one? Okay. Yeah.
Anybody else in the guard? All right. Anybody on your, on the guard, in the guard, Army Guard? Anybody? Kelly? Did you want to, Kelly's our, military leave expert.
No, it wasn't.
Loud.
But, when Chief Wilson was here, we proposed 320. And if you go back years ago, it was 204. The city would say, well, we've always been compliant with that. Well, that's 14 hours a week. And then the state legislature chose to take it up to 240. And the city obviously has to follow state laws. So 240. We requested 320, Chief Wilson came up to 270. And, so just talking about reserve friends here and there over the years, they always drop and complain about not being enough time. And I was trying to, the things credibility on our side, hey, sometimes we have to go back to work tonight. Hey, let's get a whole day off, and then we all go back to work and we get paid. But it's just not the case. You simply just run out of time, and you end up having to take it all the time for your weekends and radio training. That's all we're proposing here. It's somewhere in the middle for 300 hours. That would be suffice to cover that.
Y'all claim to be the most military friendly, city, you know?
Is there something you can provide that would show what the standard service requirements are for that person? And so we could just do the math.
Well, I can give you the real schedule, and I can show you where you have to be there at a certain time, and usually you have to take off about 1. About 100. To make sure, I can't say last year, got called 3 o'clock in the morning for 6, not knowing what I'm going to do or not. That's what it kind of pushes. It pushes you to push yourself to stay at work here and not go home, so you don't have to take later in the year to make sure you reserve enough hours.
He'll give you his. Yeah, you can show, you can lay out a, yeah. Okay.
It's just math.
So can we, just recap and what we owe you and you owe us? I don't know if y'all owe us anything, but so we're done with 1 and 2, right? We teed off of them today. And just, let's read, you got a list there, that we reconfirm that we've TA'd off on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, right?
Correct.
9 and 10.
Correct.
Our, Article 11.
You're gonna get us a proposal.
Said that.
No, you did.
Yeah, tee off on 8. 11, what do we owe? What's the deal?
So, we're gonna do a counter.
So we owe you an 11, is that what you think? Right, okay,
We need to do a counter on 11.
hold on.
They owe us too. The D&E ship was making it staffable.
And we
No, we'll do that.
Yes.
We'll do that.
Let me just mention too, while we're on that subject, so we talked in caucus that we are gonna propose some new language that doesn't change current practice, but it codifies in our contract the way we pay during emergencies when folks are sent out of town.
So, when we deploy, we pay portal, right? Well, we need that defined in the contract.
I do remember that, right. Yep, okay.
So it doesn't change anything other than it's.
Sure, gotcha.
It would definitely help y'all
Yeah.
aspect without a question. Bound to do it.
That means y'all don't get called though. Of course, you're not calling you anyway, so it doesn't matter, does it?
That's a mistake.
Chief, we all opposed to y'all just add that into y'all's.
Yep, portal pay, just we'll figure it out, okay?
This is for state notified deployments, portal is required, something along that line of language, okay?
Well,
No, just that we're gonna pay portal to portal, right?
Well,
Yeah,
only on deployments.
right, yes, yeah.
Okay.
What kind of deployment? I mean,
Well, it could be it could be a federal deployment too, we turned down some federal deployments here recently, like to.
Yeah.
We turned down those.
So any,
Out of town.
well, help us. Well, that's, I mean, out of town, will that suffice?
Out of town. Let me think about how about?
We'll work on it. That's what, we don't need to do it here. We'll work on it. We'll
Yeah,
talk about it.
language,
Yeah, we'll work on it.
Language.
And that is in 12, right? Got that?
No, that's in 11. That was in
Sorry,
11.
sorry, 11.
Got 11, photo report.
Okay, good. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, 12, where are we at?
We owe you a couple things. We owe you a roadmap, kind of a discussion of how the critical care paramedic would be certified and what's our vision there. We owe you updated language to match your language on, I believe it was the USAR, right,
I would
certification.
urge you be.
Right, we got that.
Yep,
We got
got
it.
it.
Yep.
13,
13. Oh, hold on. You agreed to 12, hold on, make sure, to our 12.7 and 13.9, correct?
13.7 and 13.9, yes.
And y'all do not agree with 13.1 and 13.3.
Correct.
You think that will have impact to the DOJ? You think that someone could raise that we're violating the settlement agreement? Okay. And you feel as if there could be, that there's grounds for that if we do that?
And it's not just a settlement agreement. Remember, it's now a federal court order.
Right. I know it's federal court, there's no doubt about it. I know all the bailiffs' names down there now. And some of the judges. Oh, have they really? It has been,
But I
look,
still some of the same ones there.
a couple of years now, I guess. When did we do that? When did we finalize that? Oh, really? Has it been? Wow.
Not quite 3 years.
Damn.
We finished it up.
Yeah.
Finished it up in, May or June.
We're not gonna do it. So we're good. I'm not, yeah.
We're coming back.
Yeah, I know, yeah. All right, we'll take all that into account on 13. And we will have you a new proposal on 13. Let's just do that one. All right. We'll have you a new proposal. Was 14. Where was the sticking point on that? Oh, you want comp time when you die.
Yeah, and I do want to, just so we don't gloss over it, you guys proposed removing the $10 per month limitations on dental.
Yes.
So we did costing, and the reason, and this will probably remain open at this point, it's a significant additional cost. And so I understand that this is the way the police have it written in their contract.
Yeah.
But I also understand that nothing's done in a vacuum. So who knows what additional, benefits they gave up that you guys didn't get with this $10 per month. But right now we pay, it's pretty easy math, about $160,000 for your membership for dental. If we were to move to what is currently being charged by the FOP, it would go to $460.
How much?
$460.
460, okay. Well, I think you know that when we produce our premiums, they're different, right? So it's really what has raised that issue, to be honest with you, that now.
No, I
that we're all done,
understand
it's,
where it came from.
Yeah. And that was a long, I mean, what I remember is that dental thing for the cops was a long time ago. Been around a long time. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Hold on, let me start. So add, okay, add that. Well, that was it, right? Other than our dental. Right?
Yes.
We took all that, the language out, and now, I think I remember, but all of this striking from 14.1 and 14.3 and 14.4 kind of got all baked into 14.2 and 3, right? Remember that, right? It kind of just made it cleaner. Yeah.
Clarify it. Yeah.
Okay, all right, good deal. Okay, so we owe on 14.6, what you got marked there. That's all. So we owe that. We owe you on 14. 15.
We TA'd today.
We did?
Yeah.
Missed that one.
That was the one that was connected.
Yeah. Uh, 17, I guess you want to say. We're willing to do that. It's got to be in a contract. So that's where it needs to be.
You're willing to have a limited light duty policy?
Yep. A limited light duty policy, not this limited light duty policy, but it has to be in a contract.
It's not in the contract now, and limited light duty positions are being, I mean, there is something occurring now that's not in the contract.
Right. Something we can't put it in the contract.
I understand.
Then that means you
But
just can't change it arbitrarily.
we'll talk about it.
Okay. You know where we're at. That's all I'm saying. I'm not asking to debate it. I'm just letting you know where we are. And you're just going to give 18 is kind of where we're at.
Yeah,
You'll just give us an answer, right?
Yeah, we owe you
Okay.
an answer on 18.
And let's just leave 19 till I get an answer out of is there anything else in 19?
We owe you some more examples of what a pattern would look like.
Okay. What about y'all? You got no problem leaving the hold on. Okay, we'll just, let's, if you're gonna give us something on 19 and 20, right? Examples of abuse.
Right.
And, and and all I owe you is an answer on 20.11. And obviously on 19, I guess it's the same in 19, is it? No, y'all didn't add in 19,
Yeah,
did
we
you?
should be in both, because the same rules apply to both. It's gotta be, yet to be accrued time, 1910.
Oh, did it get in there?
1910, yeah. 319.
If you're looking at,
Oh, I'm looking at that. Yeah, I'm looking, sorry. Existing contract. All right. Go. Gotcha. 20, we did 21, right? 20,
22, we just talked about. Kelly's gonna get some information for us.
okay, all right, good. Kelly owes on 22. And we TA'd off on everything else, right? 25, 26, that's all I had left. At 23, 24, we did 25, 26, and we got all the rest of them, so, okay. Go on next. You know what we owe and what they owe, right?
We are Article 14.6.
Okay.
I'm gonna get a new proposal.
Okay. Okay.
The week of the 24th, do you have any?
When?
The week of the 24th.
24th? Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, those, yeah, we got something going on at fall. But, yeah, 20, let's give us a day here. Let's, about a 26th.
Okay.
Good. Can make it, let's make it 9:30.
Okay.
We can get here at 8:30, give us a little bit of time. 9:30 on May 26th. Yeah. We'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll know. 9:30. Let's just have it here for now. Let's just have it here. Okay. Good deal.
You're saying you're gonna have another meeting here? Oh, boy, won't that be fun?
May not be in this room.
May not be here. We may have some other options for,
Yeah,
we'll look at.
Suggestion box.
Yeah. Ain't a problem going upstairs, is there, Todd? Like, well, just a public meeting. No, I mean literally, but a public meeting. you know.
Needs are bad. Needs are bad.
I know public meetings, if somebody shows up, accessible and all that stuff, so.
Where are you thinking? Where are you thinking?
Well, we plot up there, you know that, right?
Well, that's temporary,
Okay.
just a minor problem.
Yeah.
part of the strategy.
Yeah, yeah, except he turned up the wrong one.
Wedding is,
He turned up the wrong